Right now at 5, he's been our neighboring governor far longer than he's been on the national stage. Tonight, Will Keneally's exclusive one-on-one interview with Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz. Plus, as we get closer to Election Day, an update on voter registration numbers compared to 4 years ago. And we're following an emergency airlift of pets, how stranded animals from the hurricanes are being flown to safety and finding new homes. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Thanks for joining us. Our first big freeze could be in store for us tonight, possibly, dare I say, a few snowflakes. We start off with our chief first-sworn meteorologist, Alex Harrington, on the patio. I think that's a slightly thicker coat there, right, Alex?
Yes. I haven't worn this coat since maybe last April or May. First time getting the coat out, and you need it because it's chilly out here. And yes, Eric, there could be a few snowflakes tonight. We had a few snowflakes. Baraboo reported snowflakes yesterday morning, and not going to be surprised to see a few more snowflakes across southern Wisconsin as this cold air moves into southern Wisconsin. It's a ripe atmosphere for getting a few afternoon showers that can last into at least the early to mid-evening hours. Future Track keeping all of this in the form of rain, but again, can't rule out a flurry or two out there to make it feel very fall-like across southern Wisconsin. Not expecting any accumulation, though, with any showers that maybe produce a flurry or two. 48 in Madison right now, so it's chilly. It's gray out. We've got a little bit of a northwest breeze. We fall down to about 40 by the time you join us a little bit later into the evening. Mid to upper 40s, right around 50 across all of southern Wisconsin right now. Dodgeville showing a very fall-like scene. Platteville to the southwest showing a fall-like scene. They got a frost advisory tonight out towards southwestern Wisconsin, where the temperatures will cool down the most this evening. Freeze warnings for Tuesday night, and then we have a freeze watch for south central Wisconsin. Just how cold the actual thermometers will read, let's look at that together in Maine weather.
All right, Alex, thank you. A busy day on the campaign trail. Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz traveling through northern Wisconsin. And here in Madison, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden holding an event on the city's west side, and that's where our political reporter Will Keneally is, and he has more about an exclusive sit-down interview with Governor Walz as he traveled through the state. Will?
Eric, that's right. Yeah, we sat down with Governor Walz shortly after his Eau Claire stop, talking about some of the strategy, a Midwestern governor campaigning here in Wisconsin, what he's doing to win the Midwest. And we also spoke with him about the vice presidential debate between him and another Midwesterner, J.D. Vance. And both kept things very civil, which is something that you don't often see in today's polarized politics.
How were you able to accomplish that? Why did you guys get along so well?
Well, I think the one thing, and again, it depends on how true the statements are coming out of that. Look, I think that's my Midwestern personality. I can't speak for Senator Vance, but look, I was a legislator who was willing to find common solutions, not compromise our values.
And you can see our full interview up online at channel3000.com. And we'll have more to share with you tonight at 6, including how Walz and Harris plan to unify the Democratic Party. But we'll continue also to provide you the latest from this Jill Biden event on Madison's west side here. And now we're expecting some speakers here within the next maybe hour or so, I would say. We'll hear from Attorney General Josh Kaul, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Jill Underly. She's actually running for re-election next spring. The interim Dane County Executive Jamie Kuhn, and of course Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway. Evers, who you might expect, Wisconsin's governor, he's out campaigning with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Tim Walz there. Now, again, we'll continue to provide you updates throughout the night, but for now, reporting on Madison's west side, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, thank you. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump, along with their surrogates, are continuing this blitz across swing states. Just more than 3 weeks to go now until the election. As Will mentioned, Jill Biden, Tim Walz in Wisconsin today, along with Senator Bernie Sanders rallying in Milwaukee with former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. Vice President Harris will be making her 6th stop to Wisconsin on Thursday. That'll be to Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay. Former President Trump making stops down in Georgia, New York, Pennsylvania, and also North Carolina. As new CBS News polling shows, the presidential race virtually tied in battleground states still. Former President Trump leaned into a signature issue, immigration, campaigning in Arizona yesterday. And Donald Trump received the endorsement of the Border Patrol Union and said he would work with Congress to hire 10,000 new Border Patrol agents and approve a raise.
We need the agents. We need them badly. And keeping our incredible veteran agents on the force. Don't leave us. Raise your right hand. You're not going to leave.
Ahead of Trump's rally in California Saturday, sheriff's deputies arrested a Las Vegas man for allegedly having a loaded firearm with high-capacity magazines at a checkpoint near the venue. A federal law enforcement source tells CBS News there's no indication that this was any sort of assassination attempt. Former President Trump also facing threats from the Iranian government linked to the 2020 killing of General Qasem Soleimani. Former President Trump now requesting aircraft and armored vehicles to protect against those threats. President Biden says, quote, "What I've told the department is to give him every single thing he needs for his protection as if he were a sitting president," end quote. He said, give him all that he needs. If it fits within that category, that's fine. But if it doesn't, he shouldn't. Again, end quote. The deadline for online and mail voter registration quickly approaching, and voter registration is actually slightly down from this time 4 years ago. As of October 1st, Wisconsin has over 3.5 million registered voters. We have 28,000 fewer registered voters from the same time 4 years ago. Now, Dane County currently has over 390,000 registered voters as of October 1st, down only 500 voters from the same time 4 years ago. Now, the last day to register to vote online and by mail is Wednesday. You can still register when you vote in person, whether during early voting, which starts next Tuesday, or on Election Day. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call says Wisconsin's Department of Justice is working hard to protect fair elections. In a reminder today, Call says that voter intimidation and threats to election workers are against the law, saying it's essential that we protect the right to vote. Wisconsin DOJ committed to making sure that Wisconsin once again has a safe and secure election, end quote. The Attorney General added that if you witness or are subject to election intimidation or threats, alert an election official and call local law enforcement immediately. Sunday, President Biden flew over St. Pete Beach down in Florida, his second trip to the state in just over a week. He spoke with storm victims surrounded by battered homes and promised $612 million in additional federal aid aimed at electrical grid strengthening in hurricane-affected areas. A major gas shortage also hurting recovery efforts. About 1 in 3 stations across the state of Florida are out of gas. 37 million gallons arrived in Florida over the weekend. People are desperate for it. Cars stretching for blocks at distribution centers for a free 10 gallons.
The help isn't coming fast enough, it seems. It just doesn't seem like it's coming fast enough.
And also over the weekend, more than 250,000 Floridians applied for federal assistance through FEMA in one day. That is the most ever. Inland, the concern of flooding remains. Rivers there are not expected to drop below flood stage through this week. The U.S. sending an advanced anti-missile system to Israel with U.S. troops to operate it. The Pentagon says the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, battery will help bolster Israel's air defenses following attacks by Iran. About 100 U.S. troops are being deployed to operate that system. It is rare for the U.S. to deploy troops inside Israel. The THAAD battery was previously deployed to Israel in 2019. That, though, was simply for an exercise. Wisconsin chicken farmers are racing to look for a new place to sell following an abrupt closure of an Iowa poultry plant. Pure Prairie Poultry closed its processing plant in Charles City, Iowa, just a few weeks ago, turning control over to the state in a bankruptcy filing. Now 1.3 million birds are in the care of the state, and Iowa has granted an emergency court order to help farmers there. There's currently no state or federal aid available for Wisconsin farmers in this specific case. Today is Indigenous Peoples Day, the 6th year Wisconsin has celebrated the holiday. The state home to 12 Native nations, and in a video message, Governor Tony Evers recognized how much Native communities have given to Wisconsin.
Hopeful this next year that I'll be able to sign a biennial budget that will continue giving back. So today, I invite you to join me in honoring our Native nations and the immense contribution Indigenous people have made on our state. So happy Indigenous Peoples Day, Wisconsin.
Indigenous Peoples Day was first recognized in Wisconsin back in 2019 when Governor Evers signed Executive Order 50, designating the second Monday in October as the holiday, affirming the state's commitment to respecting tribal sovereignty. Well, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County asking for donations to keep its organization going strong. It's seeing a 35% drop in resources following a 10% reduction in the United Way of Wisconsin's impact grant distribution. Cuts are affecting after-school programs, which rely heavily on grants. If you'd like to help donate, we have a link to their donation page up at channel3000.com. In response to the hurricanes, Helene and Milton, Greater Good Charities, Southwest Airlines, and Lucky Dog Animal Rescue partnered to airlift 145 shelter pets from impacted areas in Tennessee and Florida to the Midwest. 17 of these animals were welcomed by the Dane County Humane Society. The emergency airlift was organized to help overcrowded shelters focus on disaster relief efforts. DCHS's Amy Good expressed gratitude for helping displaced pets, saying it allows communities to focus on recovery. Many of the pets are now available for adoption. For more information, visit giveshelter.org/adopt. Well, Alex is back with a freeze on the way. I'll have your complete first warn forecast, and it's that kind of forecast that has them bringing in the sunburst chairs soon on the Union Terrace. Tell you how much longer you have to enjoy them just ahead. And a Monday check of the markets. The Dow up more than 201 points, adding to its record high close. A 160-point jump for the NASDAQ. The S&P 500 adds 45, and we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, brought to you by Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning.
This shouldn't take too long, should it?
I'll have the unit up and running in a jiffy. Oh, sorry, I have to go to the shop. Sorry, I don't have that part either. Sorry, I don't have that part either.
But you said it would be quick. A fully stocked truck can make a huge difference. Call Cardinal.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
Get an 11% rebate on your staining project at Menards. Verithane's proven formula is sure to amaze and is ideal for all interior wood projects from floors to furniture. Get a quart of premium fast dry wood stain for $10.94 after rebate. Add a smooth and durable finish with Verithane triple thick polyurethane. It allows you to complete your wood project with only one coat. Now only $17.79 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
My name is Norma. I'm a two-time Trump voter. I will not be voting for Trump this time around. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I cannot support Trump again because I don't trust him. I feel he's a liar. I feel he's for himself. I feel like he's going to take our country down a really evil, dark path. I want to be on the right side of history, and voting for Trump would be on the wrong side of history.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We wanted to be able to enjoy all 4 seasons, and patio enclosures helped us make that dream come true.
The one and only patio enclosures.
For 6 generations, a local family has passed down their legacy. We take you to their family farm where a new generation is already learning the ropes. And thousands of birds are migrating through Wisconsin. See how climate change is impacting their journey tonight at 6. News 3 Now is focusing on the issues and the races that matter where you live, with 3 for the people.
Talking with local candidates, looking at both sides of the issues, and fact-checking it all, so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. The Arts Hotel in Milwaukee is hosting an art exhibition presented by Madison-based Arts for All Wisconsin, and they're inviting all Wisconsin residents to a reception this week. The exhibition is called The Art of Family, and it features works from 30 artists who are all connected to disability-focused Arts for All Wisconsin. Fred Seeger is a Madison artist who says creating art is therapy for him and a lot of people in the Arts for All community.
Leaves me with a real sense of peace because it's the language that I speak. Having some disabilities, that create anxiety, and certainly the PTSD is, always there. So it's a way for me to escape and just go into a world and a gift that was given to me. That is something that I just don't want to waste.
Pieces in the exhibit showcase different artists' interpretations and expressions of their connections with their family members. If you're interested in attending, there will be a free reception Friday night starting at 7. Wisconsin Union preparing to wrap up the outdoor season at the Union Terrace starting October 28th, weather permitting. The iconic yellow, orange, and green sunburst chairs will be packed away, marking the end of the Terrace's entertainment season. Wisconsin Union Deputy Director Susan Dibble encourages the public to continue enjoying events and activities indoors throughout the winter months. The Fond du Lac Sheriff's Office and the DNR referring over a dozen criminal charges against 4 suspects, including 3 teens for killing over 100 deer across multiple counties. Suspects from Campbellsport are facing charges of animal mistreatment, hunting out of season, and firing from a highway. Investigators say the group drove at night, shining lights to shoot deer, often leaving them to rot. The Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office says these killings are senseless and reckless. Wisconsin DNR has reinstated burn permits in 13 counties, including Dane County. It's due to the ongoing drought and high fire risk. Starting today, residents in the affected areas must obtain a DNR permit for burning debris or brush. The move aims to reduce wildfire threats, as debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires. Though campfires for cooking are exempt, officials urge extreme caution, especially with dry conditions expected to worsen throughout the fall. Visit WIS Burn for burn restrictions and updates. Well, it's going to start feeling like fall for sure, if it hasn't already. Snowflakes? Did you say snowflake?
Yes.
Where'd you say, Baraboo?
Yeah, they did have some snowflakes yesterday morning. Pretty surprising way to wake up at the end of the weekend after just being up near 80 degrees on Friday. We have fallen into fall very quickly across southern Wisconsin. And with fall, we can still have that fire risk. We got low humidity, the increasing dry fuels as vegetation dries out as we go further into fall. And I don't have very significant rain chances, unfortunately, in the forecast across southern Wisconsin. So the continuation of that elevated fire risk will continue. Drought monitor also showing the expansion of abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions across the area, and I expect that, unfortunately, to continue to expand across the area. We get updates every Thursday, by the way, so tune in on Thursday for the latest drought monitor update. What do you need to know in our forecast? Frosty conditions the next few nights. We started talking about that last week. Highs in the 50s. That's all we'll do through Wednesday. But the 70s are going to return. I'm going to give you a peek of the weekend in just a couple of moments. A few showers out towards Beaver Dam to Watertown, Jefferson, east along I-94. If you have any travel east towards Milwaukee, you might need the windshield wipers a little bit. And just as Eric mentioned, can't rule out a flurry or two with the amount of cold air that we have in place, especially higher up in the sky. That allows a couple of flurries out there to form. With temperatures right now, we've got a 43 right now in Juneau, 48 in Madison, 50 in Boscobel. And as these temperatures cool down tonight, we'll be at 40 by the time we get to the 10 o'clock newscast, and then down into the 30s that we go across southern Wisconsin, which will again promote any sprinkles or showers that we have out there to maybe have a flurry or two. And no accumulation is expected at all. Frosty conditions as well. Southwestern Wisconsin, you are under a frost advisory in effect until 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Freeze warning, so it replaced by freezing temperatures. I'll show you how cold those temperatures are going to get in just a moment in southwest Wisconsin, and that could expand further to the east, where we have a freeze watch in effect for south central Wisconsin Tuesday night, again going on into Wednesday morning. Here are the temperatures that we wake up to Tuesday morning. Mid-30s across the area, so patchy frost, not out of the possibility over southwestern Wisconsin, west of Madison. We're going to warm up to 50, upper 40s right around 50. You'll need that jacket again as we carry forth into Tuesday. And here go the temperatures Tuesday night. This will likely be the coldest night of the entire next few that we have this frost chance, with overnight low temperatures mid-20s, so a hard freeze is a possibility. They could even do some lower 20s just west of the Mississippi River. We'll do 28 in Madison and 29 to the east in Watertown, 30 to the north. So a widespread frost and hard freeze is very likely tomorrow night across southern Wisconsin. But contrast the frost. First, to let you know, we're going to do 71 on Saturday for high temperature, 73 on Sunday. So we go from fall-like temperatures right back to summer-like temperatures. With breezy conditions, it will be warm and it will be dry. So that, again, extends that fire threat as we go off into next weekend. No big storms in our future as we move forward out, even into next week, as we go from those warm temperatures Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cooler on Tuesday, and back to fall-like readings Wednesday and Thursday. Still not expecting appreciable rain with that front moving through southern Wisconsin. All right, time for a little bit of traffic. It does look like we just have an incident right now near the Highway 12 and 39 exchange. That's probably going to slow down traffic. As you note there, US 12 eastbound now at 45 miles per hour. I was just looking at that prior to that incident, and we were going at about a good 60 to 65 miles per hour. So east on the southern part of the Beltline heading to 39, you could see a slow up here momentarily. Things are going just fine and dandy down near Janesville with average speeds right around 70 miles per hour, and the same up near the Dells with average speeds right around 70 miles per hour. You might need the windshield wipers a little bit tonight with an isolated shower, and I wouldn't be shocked if many folks who are driving right now maybe got the heat on in your car instead of opening up the windows.
It's about that time, Alex. Thank you. When we come back, the company SpaceX making history with its recyclable rocket test. The story next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits? I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it? Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. Compare that to Trump. He fights for himself and his billionaire friends. He intends to enact a national sales tax, the Trump tax, that would raise prices on middle-class families by $4,000 a year. Instead of a tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record. Expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
SpaceX is celebrating an astonishing achievement in its quest to develop fully reusable rockets. The company successfully launched its giant Starship rocket yesterday and then used mechanical arms to pull the first stage booster back to the launch pad for the first time ever. Mark Strassman shows us how they did it.
We have liftoff. It was one giant step for SpaceX as it launched its most powerful rocket ever built.
We're now down to 3 Raptor engines.
and then flew its first stage booster back to the launch pad where giant metal arms called chopsticks grabbed it, just 7 minutes after lifting off in Boca Chica, Texas. The uncrewed fifth test flight, a new milestone in SpaceX's vision of developing a fully reusable rocket to return astronauts to the moon and beyond.
What SpaceX is trying to do is build the world's largest and most powerful rocket with the expectation that once it's ready to go, it will be able to carry 100 metric tons into orbit, which is far greater than any other spaceship has ever carried before. And it's expected to be reusable.
Derek Pitts is the chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute.
Reusability of spacecraft for future space exploration is extraordinarily important because reusability drives down the cost of space exploration.
The other half of the spaceship traveled halfway around the world before successfully splash landing in the Indian Ocean. Both stages are designed to be reusable, a crucial step in exploring space.
What SpaceX plans to do in the future for this spacecraft capability, though, is to take astronauts out to Mars.
Mark Strassman, CBS News.
And we're back with a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
Four years ago, in this alley, rioters threw a brick at my face and knocked out my teeth. Why? Because I was a police officer. And what did Kamala Harris do? While America's cities were burning, Kamala was defending peaceful protest. She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding our police, making us all less safe. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Excitement comes standard with the Honda Accord, and so does a turbocharged engine. Sophisticated, high-tech, style that enhances functionality. Stand out with the Honda Accord. From Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Contact your Honda dealer today or shop online.
100 Republicans who worked in national security for Presidents Reagan, both Bushes, and for President Trump, now endorsing Harris for president.
She came up as a prosecutor, an attorney general, into the Senate. She has the kind of character that's going to be necessary in the presidency.
Vice President Harris is standing in the breach at a critical moment in our nation's history. We have a shared commitment as Americans to do what's right for this country. This year, I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Former generals, secretaries of defense, secretaries of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, CIA directors, and National Security Council leaders under Democratic and Republican presidents, Republican members of Congress, and even former Trump administration officials agree there's only one candidate fit to lead our nation, and that's Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, Vice President Harris and former President Trump both campaign in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania. Harris announces policies targeted at black men, and Trump suggests using the military to target his so-called enemies. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
A farm in southern England has transformed over 10,000 pumpkins and squashes into a stunning Halloween-themed mosaic of the beloved Tim Burton character, Beetlejuice. The intricate design took 15 people, approximately 7 hours to complete. Sunnyfields Farm has opened this impressive creation to the public since October 5th. Visitors can marvel at the vibrant display showcasing the farm's creativity and festive spirit this Halloween season. We had those temps in the 80s Friday. Now it's starting to feel like corn, maize, and pumpkin time.
Yeah, we just updated our patio out there too to look festive for fall. And well, with fall, we got frost advisories, we have freeze warnings, we have freeze watches for southern Wisconsin. First and southwestern Wisconsin, that's the best chance for frost overnight tonight. Still can't rule out patchy frost in Madison or Janesville or up towards the Dells, but best chances south and west of Madison for tonight. Then we have a freeze warning in effect for southwestern Wisconsin. This is likely where we will see those temperatures dip down mid-upper 20s across southwestern Wisconsin Tuesday night going into Wednesday. And it's very possible that we could do that too in south central Wisconsin with a freeze watch in effect. So definitely be tuning in the rest of tonight and tomorrow to see if those watches are upgraded to warnings for Madison.
All right, Alex, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.